Hello. Oh, couple checking in and out. Oh, I'll just sit here and smoke until somebody comes in. Well, hello there, El Chapo. Gosh, either something happened or it's your first trip in here. That is nothing like Sasquatch's water monitor that eats a whole freaking rat, but I have the more genteel eating lettuce. But I haven't been on feeding him online much because the cage was filthy. It's been hard to get to it, but I got to it today. Now we just have to give him food and water. So how are you doing? Yeah, fat and happy. I inherited him like everything else from my grandchildren. And they had him for about 6 months, and it was every week cleaning. And he was in a basement, so they had to run humidifier, dehumidifier, and heater. And then it was quite expensive. Just oops, you're gonna get your food wet, Raptor. Oh, to the dispensary. Yeah, my dispensary right now is my brother. We have made a family co-op of it since it became medically legal in Michigan. Never grew before then. Seriously. So he eats lettuce and he loves bugs. All I can afford right now are freeze-dried mealworms. About 2 months of food in here. I do get them live for him when I can afford them. He loves those. Crickets too, they're nasty though. They're loud. They like to hide. But the motion is just like watching a fish if you ever watch them go after something that moves. He jumped halfway across that cage. All right, later. Sorry, I was watching this chat. It's got to be early morning there. Well, we just sit back and wait and see if anybody comes in. I guess I'll just fill another bowl. I suppose you could look at Reptar until he decides to move his ass, come down and eat. Oh, that might not be too long. He was already looking to eat after I cleaned the cage. Right, Reptar? You love it when I clean your cage. Not. You're a slob. You'd rather be all messy and just like you like it, huh? I keep moving it around on you, upsetting you. I swear I don't know how you're a male lizard. Or you could just run down there and eat. Oops. Hello. Oh, Coachella Bailey Cat Watch. What's up? Just getting a little dinner in after I cleaned his cage. I haven't shown him much lately because it was dirty. But we'll see if he can't tear into some lettuce. Maybe eat a few mealworms. Yeah, definitely a critter cave. Roadhog Kennel donated the skulls. He loves his lettuce. I don't know. Salads are supposed to be what you eat on a diet, but if you see his gut, some things are better, but it's the getting old and getting the downhill slide kind of thing. Wouldn't be worth much if it weren't a challenge. I'm so stubborn, I don't know how to give up. So I just keep on going. After all, humans are the most adaptable thing there is. But I got to go to my granddaughter's 7th year birthday party yesterday, 3 weeks late, because I raised my daughter and she's a lazy person. No, she works her butt off 60 some hours a week, and so does her husband, and they still raise three little kids. So since I did that, I could be kind of hypocrite to complain any other way. Yeah, I'm gonna go up to Thanksgiving with my mother this year. The whole northern group is gonna get together. She's gonna be 80 next year. She gets out and about more than I do. She's been in 5 different states this year. I've maybe been in 4 counties. Hi, Jenny. Jenny's a sweetheart. Avert your eyes, Jenny. He's destroying, eviscerating this poor piece of lettuce. Yeah, I haven't celebrated Thanksgiving in 9 years, so the fact that my daughter wants to go up to the North Group, which is my side of the family, you know how it gets. I got 3 kids, hers, mine, and ours, so it always is complicated. But northern Michigan is one of the best places to be in winter. Well, I got 3 sisters and a brother. My brother lives about a mile from me down here. The 3 sisters all live up north. Uh, they've got phew, three, six kids between them. One was just born 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, the grandkid. So I got a few of those great grand nieces and nephews. And all together, there'll probably be 40 people at the dinner, all family. Yeah, I posted some of my granddaughter's birthday party yesterday. I tried to do live stream, but her house is like if you walked into a cop shop and said the zapper's on, that's what you think. Because with my cheap LG phone on the Obamacare program, I had to be in a 2 square foot area on the deck for my phone to work. It didn't work out in the front yard. It didn't work in the house. It didn't work in the backyard. Only in like one spot could I get reception. Well, even though I got an iPhone 6s, which nothing to brag about, but it's better than my LG that was like bottom of the line, but still couldn't get past 0 frames a second through Streamlabs. But yeah, I hope to do at least a little bit because uh, I'll be at Frankfurt Harbor, which is right on Lake Michigan, which is kind of silly because I live only 4 miles from Lake Michigan. So to make a big deal about going up there and being by the lake, whatever. But I'll try and do that. Yeah, it's quite a group. Yeah, I know they said that Obamacare was a real issue and that there would be issues, but I couldn't believe that a 340-pound guy could just fall through the cracks. There's some issues, but if you're that big and can fall through the cracks in it, I don't know what to tell you about that program. Yeah, I've thought about doing Facebook Live. I've really only done Streamlabs, and I never screwed around with it because somebody brought me this camera, hooked it up to my computer, and showed me how to use it. And I hadn't even tried going live with my phone. And then when I did, they made it the 1,000 sub things on YouTube. So, but my kids do Facebook Live. I think I just have to download the live app part. Nah, the government failed me so many times, threatened me so many times. I don't know how I've had any patience to let them exist. Obviously, that's why my family won't let me have a gun at my house that they know of. I'm like a magnet. I started helping out with the bus schedule for my grandkids, dropping them off, and it was my second day. I got the cops called on me. It's like I don't even do anything wrong. I'm parking in where you park to drop your kids off to get on the school bus, and I still get the cops called on me for it. All right. Well, like I said, I was just got the cage finally clean, and I was going to feed him. So there's some people that just watch that part. I think they probably turn the sound off because I'm such a dick sometimes. But thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. I'll, I'll see you on your lives. Let's see if we can improve the shot. Do you have your head cut off now? Yeah, they got you. Could adjust the camera. Got not a bad reflection. I did a pretty shitty job getting that film off that glass. I've waited too many weeks. If you hit it every week, it's easy. Every other week's not too bad, but when it's gone a month, Jenny's sitting there listening, being a good girl. Yeah, I went to my granddaughter's 7th birthday party, and all I got was this stinking hat, and it don't even keep my head warm. And this is for PJ. It's been here the whole time. It's a spider. Sadly, the unicorn hasn't been fed lately, so no M&Ms. All right, we'll see you. I appreciate you stopping in, really do, man. Have a good day. Yeah, I went live at the park because I figured they'll be closing it as soon as we get a big snowstorm. They got most of the dock in, but that was after what is it, 30 hours of watching impeachment inquiry hearings. I had to clear my head. Sad Squad. Oh, Tormund says hi, Reptar. Reptar watches Tormund when he eats. He's got a big screen TV right in front of him. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to scroll back, but you'll see. Well, I just cleaned his cage and just fed him, and he reluctantly came down and ate a little bit. He's on a salad diet, and he just keeps getting fatter. He's got more like the frog tongue than the snake tongue. It's like a sticky. Yeah, I think it come out 2 inches maybe, and it's pretty freaking fast. But He had Sasquatch. He had an accident last night. Woke my ass up like 4:30 in the morning. That suction cup on the right above his head let loose while he was sleeping, and it fell. Wired whack. I used the phone flashlight and I shined on it. And he's laying down. It's laying on the bottom, and he's still sleeping. Like, oh God, he's dead. So I got up when the bathroom came back. He's still laying there. So I tapped the cage, and he got up, turned around, and climbed up and slept on another spot. But he was sleeping up so high he had his claws on the edge of that rubber and pull that lip and break that suction. Yeah, I love watching Tormund when he first takes it. He's got to make sure it's dead and both bones are broken, and he smacks it up against the side of the cage. I had a Bengal male cat that was our breeder that was free to run through the house, and it would play fetch with the little cat balls, but like a dog would, and bring it back and drop it and wait. But it wasn't like a dog. The dog just runs up and can barely get his mouth on it as he's falling over. This cat would run up to it, drop down and pounce and kill it. I mean, kill it. Grab it with both paws and just bite the shit. And gladly walk back to me and drop it and wait for me to throw it again. But that's what I think of when I think of Tormund. It's like slap, 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 and then gulp, gulp, gone. But I don't know, man. I'd be nervous every time he swallowed. God, he's gonna get so big. You have to definitely gonna have to build him a bigger, or buy a bigger encounter closure or a whole room or an outdoor facility. They're pretty variable. They like it says in different charts from 80 to 95 at the bottom and 105 to 110 at the top for the warm spot. But they're a central Australian desert, so they kind of get a moderate climate. Really, there's green everywhere. There's water. I mean, it's a desert lizard, but it doesn't live in the desert, so to speak. But up under that light, it's about 105 if I pull the screen off, and I don't like it that hot. So that's pretty much where he lays and digests the food, and then lays around and does nothing, and then lays around like a lizard does. So I have a heat lamp, a ceramic lamp that runs 24 hours a day, and then the light, which is more for light, UV. Um, they say to run it 10 hours a day. He may get it 14 hours a day in the summer, and not as much in the winter. But in the summer, I switch off. I only run the ceramic I started about 2 hours before I turn the light off because it takes that long to heat up, and I just want one at night in the summer. And this is a really warm room. The water heater is literally behind that wall behind him, so that's like a heater. Plus the computer, the TV, the cable box, me. If it's cold, cold, when I still have the windows open, I would cover the cage with a towel at night just so the cold air didn't hit on the side. But he doesn't seem to be bothered. One day it actually got temperature dropped like 30 degrees while I was sleeping. And he was pale yellow because he was cold. So I use that kind of as the monitor. As long as he's got color, he's warm. And he'll get a little darker and a little lighter. So it's like it's like the temperature strip, his skin. I didn't do a great job because it leaves that the chemical you spray for the cleaning the inside of the cage is a anti reptile bacterial, and it just doesn't clean off the glass real well. But I found out just when I got to the end today that if I use just a little bit of rubbing alcohol, I can take that film off. Oh, beautiful Kitra. Look at Reptar. Show off. Kitra's here. For 100 waters. Heat emitters. One 100 watt nightlight. And 250. Now, does he crawl up and down in the as the temperature goes up and down, or do you not notice a difference? I was looking at some of the ones that they sell just because I would build one. I wouldn't. Well, I'd have my kids build it now. I can't do it anymore, but I designed it. And most of them have just 2 to 4 lights up on the top. He's all over. Yeah. Reptar used to be all over till he got his lazy hammock. No, he'll spend time trying to get out. He does. He'll come down to eat now, and he's eating twice a day for some reason. Before it was only once a day, I guess, because he's full grown now. Yeah, I think turn a room into a terrarium for him when he's full size. A nice reading room. Goes down in there and sleeps. That thing, he is cool. Uh, you can't never tell, but Reptar's head is like watches the TV. I keep telling him, you don't behave. I'm going to bring Tormund over to play. But I'd only build a cage actually if I was going to have more than one of his type. But there's all kinds of lizards. Some of those little small rainforest ones, if you could build a miniature environment, would be really cool. But its problem is it costs. It's like when I had my mini reef tank, I had invertebrates and very few fish, but 50 to 75 invertebrates in a 40-gallon tank. It had everything, starfish, you know, everything, crabs, polyps, brain coral, all kinds of corals. But it was expensive just keeping it without buying anything. You were spending like 30, $40 a month just with a week with food and the salt and the water purifiers and I got stung by my sea urchin in my top of my finger and it left a hole that was there for 20 years. I think the fat's what filled it up. Now we did tree frogs for a while because there were so many of them up north because we lived by a several hundred acre swamp. Oh man, this petrified piece of wood I have in here is like a knot thing. So there's a hole all the way through the middle, and like six crickets can crawl in there and they stay in there. And it was like 3 weeks of it before I figured out if you take a straw, put it on the top, you just blow them back out. So that turned into fun. But yeah, crickets are loud. And if they're inside this thing going all night, I sleep like a baby. But I grew up outdoors, so I mean, when the backyard you can see at least 40 acres of swamp. When it's the water table zero, the peepers that are out there are in the millions. That's the little tiny frogs that never get bigger than about 2 inches where they're all eaten. But I was surprised when I got the crickets for them that a cricket can jump all the way across this cage. And if you take the top off, they'll jump out. Now, I've watched him go from right where he's at and hit his head against this side in one leap for a cricket. Oh, Blue Ivy stopped in. Hi, Blue Ivy. Reptar, another glamour girl. Yeah, Blue Ivy's in here. Say hi. Be on your best behavior. Don't act like me. But I'm glad you stopped in to say hi. I finally got his cage clean, so I thought I'd show it clean. I must have had a mirrored video of a good looking person that you accidentally thought was me. Yeah, I got, let's see, crickets. When I bought crickets, I bought 250. When I bought mealworms, I bought 1,000 or 2,000. And if I'd have just been smarter and spent the bucks for the bedding, I would have never had to buy more mealworms. But well, your cat, I was going to say your car was confused. Yeah, your cat was confused. He's been around cats and dogs and very small children in his first 6 months, so he's fat and happy here without being tormented. I picked him up and put him in my little Tupperware drawer when I cleaned, and he doesn't even care. And I would handle him if I had the ability to chase his butt down if he got free. So I had to make the adjustment. It's a platonic relationship, no cuddling. Yeah, if you move things around, he's in like a whole different cave, so it takes him a while to adjust himself to what's the perfect lazy spot. And I saw that attempt to make me blush in there. It worked. Yeah, I went out yesterday to my granddaughter's birthday party. It's always fun to go and sit somewhere where your ex-wife is. Oh, that's the other fun part of the Thanksgiving dinner. Get to be with my other ex-wife. After 9 years of being smart, now I'm going back to a Thanksgiving dinner with the family. I don't know what I was thinking. Yes, I do. My daughter told me I didn't have a choice. Oh well, that'll be wow. There'll be four generations at the Thanksgiving dinner. Only two from my mom's generation are left, and there are two from the bottom generation that had just got here not too long ago. One was born last month. I'm avoiding all of it here. Well, here's a fun one for you, Kitra. When I grew up, my birthday was on January 14th, and it still is, by the way. I haven't had it changed or felt that it was a need to change it. I'm not sure it's really my birthday. I was kind of small at the time, and I didn't see a calendar when I was born, but I'm supposing that's it. So my pleasure for my birthday was to take one of my Christmas presents and have my mother put it away in the closet for my birthday. So that was an extra privilege because I got to pick out my own birthday present. It was already wrapped. She didn't know what was in them, but you had to wait for, for 3 weeks to get it. So yeah, holidays have never been a really cool thing for me. My first wife served me divorce papers on my birthday. My second wife deserted me on the Saturday between Good Friday and Easter, left me high and dry. So holidays have, mm, I loved them growing up, and they were great. But after 9 years, I'm going to someone else's Thanksgiving dinner. You're gonna be 39 in what, 6 years? I'm gonna be 100, but not next year. Sorry. That's what I do in my room. Sorry, Kitra. I twist language. Or I could have went the other way. How many times has it been your 39th birthday? And I call them your older days, by the way, because it's not a birthday. Your mom certainly isn't going to let you drop out of her again. So there's no birth involved. You just celebrate being a year older. So why isn't it Happy Year Older Day? I think women have something to do with that. 39. Well, it's a lot like 38. I really think it's like you pretty much either have made it at 25 or you're never going to make it, and you reach what really is a big group of years until you're so crippled or whatever that then you're old. So we should get to quit having birthdays in those years. Yes, when I married my first wife, I got to introduce people to my wife and my 5-year-old daughter when I was 19. You're 19, right? And she's 5? Yep. But here's one you ladies will really appreciate. All I had to do was say, well, I have one son from my second wife and one daughter from my first wife, and they're 6 months apart in age. I mean, you could just watch the mercury thermometer go up their head as they got angrier and angrier and angrier. It's like legally, he's my son because I adopted him. So, but I let it stew for a minute before I try and explain because that's the kind of nice guy I am. I tell people I'm a hoe. Well, nobody believes anything anymore, so you might as well just, tell them the truth. That really fucks with them. I tell people I'm passive aggressive when I'm being nice. I just see I'm 58, so I've been through the 70s, the 80s. I don't remember the 60s. I was high because it was a hippie era, but the 70s, the 80s, when the world was gonna literally freeze to an ice cube, we were all gonna die. The government told us this. We were gonna die. We were gonna freeze to death. Then there was the 90s when it's everybody said, "Hey, leave me the fuck alone. Get over yourself." There were some hand gestures that manipulated masturbation and stuff people did to each other in public, and now we're in the 2020s, and oh my god. Hey, you walk past somebody in the streets. Did you have an impure thought about me? That's illegal. I can hit you for that. The world has almost ended 100 times. But climate change is not a new thing. It's not even like an American thing. But right now, there's no impeachment going on in Australia like there is in like other governments all over the world that are going upheaval. So they're totally climate change YouTube. I mean, everywhere on YouTube for Australia. They are just knocking these people to shreds. Does he get out? Yes, he gets out. In fact, to clean his cage, I usually just take him out. Hang on, don't no motion sickness here, I hope. And I just pop him in this drawer and then clean his cage and put him back. Well, the little shits found out if you climb over the back, you get to the bottom drawer. So today we did this. He was in the top of that on his log. And I think his leg moved twice from the time I picked him up and put him in there. And when I picked him up back here, put him in here. He don't even care. He's so content not to have all these little kids grabbing hold of him all the time. I have lots of videos with close-ups of him destroying that poor lettuce. You'd have to go a long ways back to find the live bait that I filmed. But there's some of those too. battery magnify. Yeah, I have the screen at 300% so I can read the chat. Oh, I brag about how far I remember back. I can remember completely all about a tornado when I was 4 years old. And that house that was destroyed by the tornado, at least the back half, my dad redid the brick porch when I was 18 months old. And I remember sitting outside watching him put these orange blocks. And I didn't get high in the 60s. I didn't know anybody to connect with. That's about normal. Somewhere 2 to 3 when something completely that absorbs all of your interest and holds your interest long enough that it makes a neural pathway that starts those things. It's usually something that you will never forget too. I don't know. When I was growing up, everybody 10 years older than me had a beer in their hand, except my mom and dad. Mom was a teetotaler and would drink strawberry daiquiri about 3 sips on New Year's Eve. That was the extent of her alcohol abuse. And dad only drank if other people drank, so he drank with them. Even though we had moonshine and whiskey and vodka and everything under the cupboard next to the fridge, he just sat there. I'm only one. See, that's when you know 1.5. When they start cutting the years down, I'm 6.5. Technically, perhaps that's a good pair. That's a good phrase. I don't think there could. That's a pretty short list of things that pisses Joe off. He goes right to the endorphins and laughs, and the whole endorphin thing keeps him from getting angry. I prescribe to living a life like Bruce Bannon said when they said all you have to do is get angry. He says, I'm always angry. She has a list apparently. Yeah, yeah. He knows who I am. I don't know how. Maybe it's the chats. You have to excuse Pugface Media. He has a attention deficit disorder, so everything is first to him. Every day, it's the first time he's rubbed his butt across the carpet floor. We're gonna agree to disagree. Oh, we agree to disagree. Yeah, I could get into some pretty deep discussions with him that would be real edgy. I mean, real edgy. But the thing is, I could do that with him because neither of us would get angry no matter what was said. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, which is why I haven't approached it. But he couldn't say anything to upset me, and I'm pretty sure I can't say anything to upset him. I think I told him in the chat when he was talking about being a lesbian that we were probably only two lesbians that never had a chance to hook up. Oh, I love that word. Uh, and it's not your pugs either. There was a particular person that had a pug face. It was quite pugnacious. He's after you. Watch out, Jenny. He's gonna get you. Ooh. This is already not for children, so we're good. Oh. Well, by that I meant if that accidentally showed up, that's not for kids. Oh, and Pugs, look what I brought for Pajama on its passion for all of my live feeds now. Spider! She loves spiders. Just look at him just trash them skulls like they're nothing. Oh no! What happened? I show some weed and who pops in the room? Joe Cool, baby. Are your ears burning? Don't scroll up and read what Blue Ivy's retracting all kinds of statements he wrote. What's TV? Oh, TV was that little box we used to have in the house. You didn't miss that shot, did you, Joe Cool? Huh? You didn't miss that shot, did you? Huh? Reptar just ignores its fan base. I can manage to adjust that, dude. Yes, I can. You did it now. Everybody's gonna go for a ride. Let's see if we can get the lighting in. Oh. Nope. You're looking at the reflection of the TV. I can get rid of the white part. This is the Lizard's channel. My channel's got 22 subs on it. It's called Tis Irrelevant. He's got almost 400 subs. You think anybody else shows up on my live feeds? Joe Cool is infamous. And if y'all see AK Twin Mommy sent me one of her pets, one of her polar bear buddies, hang out with my dragon. There's a joke in there, Joe Cool, and I'm just gonna let it go. Gonna give you a freebie. Not even ask you if it's your channel you're talking about or mine. That would be improper. Yeah, Pugs right now he's got the ceramic and the light, so he's toasty. You can tell the darkness in his color. He's way more active than when I just run one or the other light in the summer. He just walks through his water like it's not even there. Yeah, when he's chilly, he's is the lightest color you can see on him. His whole body will be that light yellow. I'm on a Reptar shirt. Now I got one slogan for a T-shirt, and that's a $20 bill up the top across the chest, and underneath it says, "Delete you from my live stream." $20 deletes you from my live stream. Think anybody'd ever give you $20 to delete them from your live stream? I don't want to talk to him about sex, Blue Ivy. What are you talking about? I'd take it, Joe Cool. How easy. Because we already had that discussion. We're two lesbians that are never going to hook up. So what is there left to talk about? He exercises his Fifth Amendment right like a monk. Uh, I, I don't. I can only improve my reputation, Joe Cool. That wasn't a denial either. I'm sure that you all grew up in well, you guys grew up in different eras than I, but there was a time when lizard actually meant something else. He failed to ID. What else? He's being held until he IDs. Then we'll let him go. Oh, Spirit in the Sky Blue just showed up to say hi, Reptar. Wonderful to see you. Hopefully you've missed all of the conversation that's been previous to seeing your chat. Spirit has great melons. She showed them off a lot this summer. Amazing. I think your text to chat screwed up there, Blue Ivy. Look at that fat belly. Uh-oh. He's triggered. Oh, well, that line back up. I guess that'll do for now. Not until he IDs. He's in an escape-proof cell. He was out in the yard for a while. Well, we cleaned the back. You're not getting out. All you have to do is ID. He loves crickets. He'll jump 3/4 of the way across that cage to get a cricket. It's too cold to order them, and mealworms, they're like watching an inchworm move. They just barely move, but he still eats them. Right now, he's eating freeze dried. Yeah, I don't know how far you'd have to go back on my videos. Probably last fall. Last time we got him crickets for it got cold. You're not getting out. Anything that would help you out, Joe. Whatever therapy you need, man, go for it. No, that's that you don't want to get that stickum in them. That would not work well. Actually, don't even recommend you get like worms from the yard just because of the chemicals. They generally don't have any real issues except for they are prone to a calcium deficiency, which you buy a powder that you put on the live bait or lettuce. And we'll see you. No, but actually he's allergic to spinach. And I don't know if it's the 10% of the iron that's really in spinach, like what the government lied to you about because the decimal point's in the wrong place. But spinach is actually toxic to them. That's like one of the first things you read. Don't give them spinach. But their entire adult diet can consist of nothing but lettuce. But they sure do better on with the meat and protein. He's so fat, he's breathing deep right now. And no reptiles got winded. Yeah, waxworms are fine. Actually, the mealworms are real close to waxworms. They're just a little crunchier, and they're a lot easier to grow and breed and all that. But the mealworms are like those. You can get them alive, but anything that's reptile food, turtle food, or anything that's reptile food they can eat, because it's basically ground vegetation. He's in a central Australian desert creature, but think more like the middle of where all the rocks are red, but there's grass and there's rivers. So it's green. Almost 90% of the area that he lives in is green, but it's desert in the heat. So they're almost always near water, though they don't really need to drink water, but the vegetation is everywhere. So that's why they mostly eat the vegetation and what few bugs that are prolific at whatever time of year they're available. Almost every picture I see when I look up is the orange rock, not the sand, white sand or yellow sand. It's actually some really pretty pictures that I've wanted to download and put behind the screen or behind the glass, but I don't have a printer, so I had a printer a long time ago, and my son used every cartridge to print porn and take to school. And even though my son's gone, I realized I would probably print the porn too, so why have a printer? Get used to your new cave after I rearranged it. You just hanging that sagging belly. I don't pugs because I can't catch them. If I could catch him, I would. I had a 5 foot long iguana that the back of the couch was his home and never had a cage. I got it as a rescue, and it was in a 20-gallon tank and folded in half. I had a blue and gold macaw at the same time that also had two perches in the house and didn't have a cage. That was interesting. They had some weird little discussions between the two of them, but never real rumbling. All right, go back to Joe. Fine. I'll be here on the list waiting for when you are sick of him. Bye, Blue Ivy. when he was, I think he was 3 weeks old or 4 weeks old when they got him. Until he was about 6 months old, he was. They took him out every day, and he ran around my grandson's bedroom. Now, until he IDs, he's not getting out of the cage. We can all be friends. Oh, I can't tell you that. That's yeah, we're friends. I didn't really think any more of that, Blue. All right, Spirit. I'm like one of those long distance friends you never talk to. That's how I'm the best friend for people. Oh, look at that. I get him in there. See, look at that. I don't know if you guys can see it like I can on my screen, but I got the TV reflection in this. That's pretty cool. Wish I could take a screenshot. How many people are still here? Oh, we got five. Oh, five in here and 6 likes. That's what I like. People cheating on my side. Oh, I better close that up. Let me know when you get back, Spirit. I won't be able to see nothing. My picture of my granddaughter's birthday party. You don't know the half of it. Rescue cats, raise Bengals, raise show dog dachshunds. Came from the farm where we raised rabbits and chickens and goats and pigs. My best friend's farm that was down the road that I lived in, as often as I could get out of the house. Just showing off the clean lizard cage while it's still clean. Usually by this time he's already took a dump in there. Huh. It doesn't work on your phone? We have no snow here. But there is snow south of us and there is snow north of us. Yeah, rescue was. They brought home everything from the German Shepherd. The dump was gonna, or junkyard was gonna put down because so many people fed it fast food and practically opened the gate for you. To the Humane Society in Illinois shipping pregnant cats to me that they had to give shots to that mutated the kittens. I was here a year and a half with nothing, no living creatures before my grandson passed it down to his grandfather. And I turned him into a YouTube international star. Reptar. Which, if he actually went that way, he'd probably get sued for a copyright strike. I'd usually go live and feed him, and sometimes he don't eat for half an hour, and I'll chat to whoever wants to come in, and we small groups at a time, and people come in and out, and put up with listening to me talk. Okay, Spirit, this one's for you. Now, realize I didn't, hang on, I gotta demagnify my screen here. Oops. I don't know if it'll show up if it's too dark or not, but it's coming along. September, October, November, 2 months. I got one more month to finish my Santa beard. And anybody that hadn't heard of the last live stream I had, I've already had to play the role at Walmart when the little child came up telling his brother about pulling him on his arm, going, "It's Santa Claus." Oh, I just went up to the clerk and told, "You got to get me out of here before anybody else recognizes me." And yeah, I gave him a wink. Well, you can't evade very fast when you're in an electric cart from Walmart that goes a quarter of a year, a mile an hour. I wish it were a little clearer. There's too many teeth missing, so my diction is a little bit sloppy. Yes, I've been threatening to get on here and just read children's books. I went through the Dr. Seuss series with all of my kids and all of my grandkids. Each one had their favorite. Reptar, you're failing to entertain anybody. Come over here and try and escape again. They call it a bearded dragon because of those little parts of his skin that stick out all the way down along the side. Actually, when he's trying to look bigger, that's the most effort he puts into being meaner. Is pops those out. The ridge runs across the back of his head there, and then along the side. Turbo. Make it a lithium battery. They're the ones that go 35 miles, scary miles an hour. He did not eat lots today because it was cleaning day. So, and he's been eating twice a day, 3 times a day. He'll come back and look for any scraps that are left. But he's been eating a lot since both lights are on, and he's quite warm. It was quite paler in the summertime because the room was way warmer. I didn't keep both lights on. Yes, I think it might be 5 minutes into it when I finally gave him food. The pink bunny, yeah, no, we're not getting along. Yeah, I don't cotton to pink bunnies, and uh, you know why that Easter bunny thing hides its eggs, right? You know, don't you? You know, right? You know he hides them because he's ashamed. Well, if you had sex with a chicken and you were a bunny, wouldn't you hide the eggs too? It's just bad. Okay, your dog farm video finally? Yeah, we'll check that out. I should have gotten a notice. Now, if you go back to the beginning of this video, all those skulls were lined up straight and even, and he just crawls over them like they're old food. You can throw a link into it. We need to name the polar bear. I should make a polar bear naming contest. We could call it Twin Mommy. Just have to find a small penguin to hang out of its mouth. Spirit can say dogs are beautiful. She has an angelic dog. I mean, it glows with a halo on her live streams. It makes White stand up and go, "What?" AK small buddy. There it is. You have to go check that out. Everywhere I go, yeah, everywhere you go, the dog's the star. I'll bet. One of the prettiest coats I ever seen, Spirit, was the one of the neighbors across the road where I lived out in the country up north. Um, had a wolf as a guard dog, and he had gray fur with these black tips that in the sun it was like little black light bulbs. But it was a real wolf, and it was scary as shit, man. I used an 8-foot piece of 2x4 to push the food into his area. He had a log chain on, but the guy always went to jail, and so somebody fed the dog, or he called it a dog. But man, that coat was so beautiful, especially in the sun. It was like my blue and gold macaw, man. In the sunlight, they're they're so much more beautiful than they're in the house. That's why I always laugh every time they show a dog being a wolf on TV, because that's not what the head of a fucking wolf looks like. They are not as pretty as dogs' faces. Yeah, Reptar, we weren't even talking about you. Now you're all jealous. The only reason we get along is because you can't talk. And when we raised Bengal cats, some of the rosettes in those cats, I mean, their coats were just short hairs were just beautiful. Is it a staring contest? I don't have anywhere to go either, so I'm the prison guard who still puts himself in prison every day. Remember? Oh man, yeah. I never really liked cats, but the Bengals, they're cutting edge, man. They're not true cats. They've got like, if you look at their legs, they're like an extra joint above their feet, and they can just leap straight up in the air and just be up at the ceiling. But we've had a bunch of rescues, and Torty Point, which was kind of a pretty Siamese. It's not like what you think of the dark shade with the light shade. It's a smoky white with brown tips, and the tail's like multicolors. That's what makes it Torty. It can throw all the different colors of Siamese. And that cat was a talker. it had a conversation with my wife all the time she was getting ready for work in the bathroom. The cat was just rah, 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 rah. Well, now I'm doing my own therapy online. Great. Wonder how much this is going to cost me. No, our big thing in Michigan over here is, which hasn't reached down here to me, but up north when I get to Frankfurt is the black bears. Coyotes have been here for a decade or more, probably a decade and a half. And we don't have the crossover so much up north like they do down in Indiana. There are wild dog packs though that are domesticated dogs that run in a pack wild. But there's so many deer up north that support them that I say of all everything that we've had hunted, that's the most elusive animal is so domesticated dogs that have broke free. Freedom, liberty. Boy, you can't get near them. I've only seen a few, maybe three or four in the wild, but some of the scenery where I see them in the what we call hills, you know, in the fall hunting when they're it's all leaves are down and they go scooting across 200-300 yards of a ridge, they're just beautiful. But they too cause problems. Yeah, he's sucking up that. Just lays there all day and digests. Comes down for an escape attempt or two. Oh, Spirit, I tried to call you like last Sunday and didn't answer, and then I didn't get back to it. But I did email you again. I didn't know if you just didn't pick up because you don't recognize my number or what. Well, he's got it made in there because if he were given freedom, he'd run outside and freeze to death overnight. So, held in captivity, yes, but also protected from killing himself. And leave a message. Yeah, that's what I figured when you didn't answer. But I'm even more comfortable on this than I am on a phone, and I'm not that comfortable on this. It depends on my mood, Spirit, because you know me. I've held them on the phone 45 minutes, being just completely obnoxious to it. And if they call and I'm frustrated, they get to feel my frustration. Or I just in a good mood, I'll just play with them. But yeah, I don't answer. Actually, my house phone is unplugged, so I guess they even can't call that. But I still get a couple of calls on one Panda Army or 777 smiley face that fell over. I have never seen you in here. One Panda Army. He has no. He has no realization that outside is Michigan, not the middle of the desert or anything else. It just so yeah. That's how I lost the 5 foot iguana. They crawled out the window onto the roof of the porch and froze to death overnight. But your domestic pets are really fun to like cats and dogs with the snow, especially cats that drop out there into a foot of snow that have never seen snow before. That can be quite a humorous encounter. Are the many dachshunds that run through 2 foot of fluff snow and you never even see them? There's just this trail developing along the top of the snow. Yes, I keep him caged for his own good. Reptar, you've managed to stay online for an hour and 37 minutes and not say a word. That definitely confirms to me that you're male. Yeah, that's the awareness factor. Even if it's not happening any more than it did 5 years ago, the awareness through social media and instant information is makes it not easy to hide. He needs his own bedroom. I'd let him have this room, but the cable's in here. I'd much prefer to go in the rest of my house that I have 63 degrees. Well, see, that's just silly. What are you gonna do? Crawl through the glass to get to the wall? Yeah, showing off how big you are. Stand on your hind legs like an adult. Busted. Who, me? I'm just standing here. He's trying to get off camera. And he sleeps on that hammock. 99% of the time, maybe 2 or 3 days he's slept down below, but he pretty much hangs on the hammock. He'll lay halfway off the side, or his legs will all be dangling over the sides. And he climbs up to the highest point he can get. His natural instinct. Don't mess with mommy. No, they're not really cave dwellers. They do the crevices more. A palm tree in a mirror. Well, it actually, the way it's set up, you reflect light, and you look from the inside out. You looking back at yourself. That's why I get so many reflections off the screen, especially the big white one that keeps reminding me that I'm at 300%. Oh, thanks for stopping in, Lone Wolf Community Watch. I appreciate it. Us community members really think a lot of the real active cop watchers and auditors for stopping in to say hi. Watch my dragon and trying to escape. Hanging out with his buddy, the polar bear. Now you can tell right in that shot that you can see his reflection. That's what he sees, his own reflection. Oh, I think she can hide off camera. Most creatures drink in their water dish. He just walks in it. You see all along the side, that's his beard. Runs up and across his. Oops. Supposed to have the magenta lights on. He'll be waiting a long time for a Coke. I can't afford the expensive stuff. Sugar water is the same as Coke. And back to where he lives. All right, guys, we're going to call it a day before he decides he has to use the bathroom on live TV. Pretty much. Oh. When we were sick, Mom gave us flat 7-Up. Anyway, you all have a great rest of the weekend now that I ruined the end of it. I took your time out. Reptar, say goodbye to everybody. Everybody else, say goodbye to everybody. You still not going to talk? All right. Good night, Spirit. Trump said, Boss Mayor. I doubt if there's anybody else that's still chatting. Kitra, if you're still here. And as Adon would said, oh hell, let's all just pray for everybody. Or who was that? Somebody? What was that guy's name? I'll have to look it up. We gone.